This is the state of the art of advertising, conversion optimization, and funnels in 2024. Alex Fedotoff asked me to do a masterclass for his community, the ESS. So I sat down and analyzed what all of our portfolio brands that are currently crushing have in common. So I looked at all of the brands that are already doing $100 million a year, like Alex Hormozi, The Udi, or Vessi, and I also checked out the brands that we're working with that scaled super quickly from 0 to over 10 million per year, like Nomisk or Nolan Interior. So in the next 45 minutes in this masterclass, you're going to learn how to craft marketing messages that cut like a knife through warm water. You're going to learn how to craft unrivaled offers with great unit economics and how to craft ads that deliver a 9.3x ROAS. I'm going to give you all of the creative scripts we used, all of the VSL scripts we used, the landing page frameworks, and so much more in this masterclass. I hope you enjoy it. Let me know your feedback in the comment section down below, and also if you have any questions. So let's get started with this video. And at the end of the presentation, you're also going to get the resources for free. So enjoy. Basically what I did is I checked them out and turned what we did for all of these different cases in a blueprint for you. And this is what we're going to go through in this presentation. And what I found was also that none of these, right, whether they were already big and established for years or whether they were really new, none of them became successful because of a technology advantage or some shiny object or some crazy algorithm hack, right? What they all have in common is cutting edge marketing. They understand the principles of marketing and they have a really, really high level of execution for marketing. Meaning every single one of them is following the principles of breakthrough advertising. Really quick, you probably know the book, all of you other guys. If you haven't heard of this before, Google it, buy a copy. This is one of the most groundbreaking books I've read around marketing. This is a crazy book. And basically, following these principles, they can slash their customer acquisition costs, they can get more conversions, and they can scale with front-end profitability. And this term, or like this statement, front-end profitability, is super, super important in these quick scale-ups because, as you know, if you're able to spend a certain amount of money, let's say 1K per day, 2K per day, 5K per day, and you make profit on the first sale, then you can just pour more money into it, right? It's pretty simple. But if you're reliant on like making profit out of like a long customer lifetime value or retention, then you cannot scale that aggressively, right? So these are super, super important factors, and they all tie back to cutting edge marketing. And at the same time, they cannot be copied because their competition doesn't understand what they're doing. And for me, this is what the top 1% of marketers have in common is they over obsess with consumer psychology. They over obsess with principles of marketing, right? Like they spend all day long trying to understand the cutting edge strategies that they can apply, right? And again, this is not any crazy algorithm hack or shiny object. These are age-old principles of how humans work, of how marketing works, right? And they apply this in the day-to-day. So in the next, hopefully 45 minutes, maybe a bit longer, you're going to learn how to apply all of this yourself with the case study example of Kinobody, another case study where we applied all of these. So the result of this was us applying the breakthrough advertising principles. He was able to increase his monthly profits by 6 figures, by over $200,000, was able to scale a 9.3x ROAS, following the principles of breakthrough advertising. This is the book that I was talking about earlier from Eugene Schwartz. This is a book that predates the internet, right? Eugene Schwartz was one of the copywriters in the 1950s, 1960s, and he sold a lot of different products with direct mail, right? So before the internet, before social media, before anything, this guy was making millions with direct response, and he put all of his learnings into this book. And nowadays, what we do is we follow the principles that have been proven to be right over decades and decades. So you're going to learn how to craft marketing messages that cut like a knife through warm butter. Maybe some of you are familiar with this really, really famous ad, right, that they printed into a newspaper. You will learn how to craft unrivaled offers with great unit economics, and you will also learn how to craft ads that deliver 9.3x ROAS, as we did for Kinobody. Ready to get started? Alex is the
Yay.
only one on this, so give me a hell yeah. Sick. So chapter one is cold friendly offers. What I mean with cold friendly offers is an offer that is able to be scaled on cold audiences, right? So that is the core concept behind it. Cold friendly offer means an offer that you can sell to a cold audience, right? We don't sell this offer to somebody that's super hot in the market, ready to buy. We sell this offer to somebody that's really cold and doesn't even know they have a problem. Who is familiar with the 5 awareness stages of the market, right? Maybe some of you guys have heard the concept. Alex obviously knows it because he's a top 1% marketer. Basically, the 5 different awareness stages describe how problem aware your target audience is, right? The first level is unaware, so they don't know they have a problem. The second level is problem aware. So your target audience knows that they have a certain problem. Let's say they are overweight or they don't know how to make money online or something, and they're looking for a solution. The next stage is solution aware, right? Your prospect knows that they are overweight and they know that there are different solutions, like going into the gym, changing diet, taking supplements or something like that. The next level is product aware. So your prospect is aware of multiple products. So for example, they are overweight. They know that supplements, diet changes, gym, etc. exist. And now they know that there's I don't know, Kinobody supplement, that there's another supplement from another company, right? They already seen all of these products. And the last level is that now they are in the market, ready to buy, and they only want the best offer, right? They want to get the biggest bang for the buck. So basically, if you look at these 5 different awareness stages, it should be obvious that the more aware your prospect is, the easier it is to sell to them, right? If they are in the market, they have the cash ready to buy something, then it's the easiest to sell to them if you push out a creative to that person, right, with a good offer. And if you go up this awareness ladder, right, so they becoming more and more unaware, it's obviously becoming harder to sell to them. Imagine going to a stranger on the street, like a random guy, and you walk up to them and you say, "Hey, do you want to buy my supplement?" And they are like, "I don't, like, why?" They don't even know that they have a problem, right? They don't even, for example, don't even know that they have low testosterone or that they have a high blood sugar or something, right? Like, why the fuck should they buy a supplement? It would be super hard to convince them. So that's the basically like how easy it is to sell to them. And then also, interestingly enough, if you look at it, and this also makes sense, that the more unaware target audiences obviously have a bigger market size, right? Because there's always just a small market segment of, let's say, 1%, 2%, 3% of the total market size, the total addressable market, that are going to be ready to buy, right? And most of the people are going to be, and that's why I've also made the pyramid like this. I made it bigger at the top because these are the biggest market sizes, right? People that don't even know that they have a problem, or they don't even know what solutions exist, right? So what I wanted to say is, the point that I'm making here is that the more unaware your prospect is, the harder it is to sell to them, but also the bigger the addressable market size, right? And then you have to ask yourself, do I want to go for a tiny little segment of, let's say, 1,000 people where it's easy to sell to them, but then you're capped at 1,000 people? Or do you want to go for this market size where it's like 1,000,000 people, but it's harder to sell to them? And obviously, we want to focus at this market segment, right? Because, and this again is the point, you want to be a top 1% marketer. Only the top 1% marketers focus on this market segment because it's so difficult to sell to these people. And all of the guys who don't understand marketing or who are not obsessing with it will not be successful in this segment, right? That's why they don't touch it. They don't understand how to build a 20-minute VSL to take somebody from an unaware stage to an aware stage where they want to give you money, right? And that's why they're like, I would rather copy and paste some drop shipping store that I saw Alex showing in his latest YouTube video with this product that's going viral right now because everyone wants to buy it. And then breaking news, bro, you're not going to become successful because you're lazy, right? You're not doing what it takes in terms of effort and input to become a top 1% marketer to then go for these big market sizes. So that's super important. Meaning, you want to focus on the biggest market size and the hardest to sell audience. And again, this is not a get rich quick, right? We are not here for a get rich quick, right? Get rich quick is it's a scam. It doesn't work, right? So you need to be putting in the effort for yourself to become a top 1% marketer to be able to sell to unaware products. prospects. You need to understand what to do to take someone through the different awareness stages, right? And that's really, really a lot of around how people work, their psychology, and especially consumer psychology, right? So to craft an offer that is able to do that, we need to align the offer with the market's mass desires. You guys heard of mass desires before? Like a big, big desire? Alex, maybe you can hold your hand up if you've heard of that before.
Yeah.
Perfect. You probably know all of the stuff that I'm talking about here.
It's so
Okay.
good, man. Like it doesn't matter. I think it's, a lot of the guys here on the call and the guys who'll be watching, they're advanced marketers, but it's oftentimes so easy to forget these principles as we're getting caught up like in these like tactics, like, oh, it's like bid caps, cost caps, all that shit. And sometimes we are forgetting about these principles that are core foundation of any successful company that is scalable. And so it's so good to get reminded of these, man.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. So let's talk about markets mass desires if you haven't heard about the concept before, because it's super, super important that you understand each of these concepts as they're really fundamental for your success. So the desires, the mass desires, are always a variation from the core drivers of every single human being. And again, this right now, it's not directly about e-commerce. It's not even about advertising. This is really, really deep psychology that we're going into here, right? Because again, to take somebody of your target audience or prospect from unaware, where they don't even know that they have a problem, and then basically take them through the different awareness stages to where they're ready to give you money for a problem that they didn't even know they had 10 minutes ago. It really takes effort, and it really takes a good understanding of how people work and what drives people, right? Their motivations, their pain points, their fears, and all of that stuff. So the core drivers of every single human being on the planet Earth has these core drivers. The first core driver is that you want to mate, meaning you want to find a sexual partner throughout your lifetime that you want to make babies with. Maybe you're 15, you're 20, you're 25, watching this video, you're a bit young, and you're like, nah, I don't want to have kids, right? This applies to every single human being on the planet Earth. This is evolutionary wired into your brain, right? This is the basic desire. This is the basic desire of every single human being, basically every single animal living on this planet, right? You want to find a partner throughout your life that you can mate with and have babies and give your DNA, right? That's number one. Secondly, this is the second core driver of basically every single action that you take is the fear of dying. And then I put in brackets alone. We have this fear of dying, and especially we have the fear of dying alone, right? You can see that these two core drivers are also a bit connected with each other, because on the one hand side, everything we do ties back to we want to have a partner and mate and have babies and give our DNA. And then the second big driver is that you are going to die one day, and you're aware of that because you're a smart human species, right? You know that one day you're going to die. So this is really, really core, that really deep down, those two are the core drivers of anything you do. Maybe you're not aware of this right now, right? But every action you do in your day-to-day and in your life ties back to those two, right? Either way, you're doing something that increases the chances of finding a partner, increases the chances of having a baby or a successful family. Or secondly, it ties back to you have the fear of dying, right? So now that you've heard about this concept, you can use this, right? This is really foundational human psychology. But if you understand this about how humans think and what motivates people, then you can use this to sell them something, right? I don't want to start talking about tactics around how to sell. I want to go like 10 levels deeper, right? I want to go 10 levels deeper. And this is what I'm obsessing about, because this is the stuff that the 1% marketers think about, right? They don't think about, should I use this word in my headline or should I use this word in my headline, right? Like they don't do this nitty gritty stuff. They always start with the basics. So now I've talked a lot around foundational concepts of human psychology and how markets work. Now let's apply this to the Kinobody example. For Kinobody, if you look at the brand, it's a brand from Gregory Gallagher, this good-looking guy from right here. He's a big fitness influencer. He's one of the biggest fitness influencers worldwide with over 2.7 million followers across his socials. Mostly young man, right? And he sells products, everything from supplements to clothing to programs and high-ticket coaching, right? So with the cold-friendly offer framework in mind, we wanted to craft an offer that plays to the strengths of the brand, right? Now what we are doing in this next step is we tie the basic principles that I've just gone through with like the high level of Kinobody. So now we want to bring both of those together. So the way we did that is we looked at the brand. What are the strengths of the brand? If I look at Kinobody, if you go onto his Instagram, you're going to see a lot of girls, right? You're going to see a lot and a lot and a lot of girls. What you're also going to see is status. So you place a lot with status, nice cars, nice watches, nice lifestyle, nice vacations, nice trips, big mansion in Canada, nice watches, all of that. And then fitness, obviously, he's jacked 24/7, right? He is below 10% body fat, nice muscles, workout, and all of that stuff. So these are the biggest strengths of the brand. And in best case, we wanted to have an offer that combines all of that together, right?
So, Carl, like, sorry
Sure.
for interrupting. I know I just have this tendency to interrupt people. I'm sorry. So yeah, maybe at the end of the call, right? Like we'll go through like what people like. So obviously, this is a great platform already, right? With 2.7 million, there's a lot of data. There's a lot of kind of like nuggets that you can take from it. But if we can reflect maybe at the end of the call how this could be like applied for maybe like smaller brands that don't have that momentum, right? Or maybe you covered that throughout the presentation, so it could be applicable to different levels.
Sure, let's do that. I'm gonna just go through the presentation to just share everything, and then at the end we can take some time to look at some different examples of how this could be applied.
Perfect. Thank you, man.
Perfect. Sure. Okay, sweet. So we had a look at the products that Greg already had. And then what we wanted to do is we wanted to focus on the testosterone supplement, this Kino Mojo, because we saw it already had a strong organic resonance, right? Like his audience loved the product. He was selling it a lot with like Instagram and stuff. But there was one problem that made it difficult to scale this product with paid acquisition, which was the progression of market sophistication. So market sophistication is the last complex concept that I'm going to talk about, but this is also super important. So we talked about market awareness stages, total addressable market. We talked about the core drivers of human psychology. And now we're going to talk about market sophistication. So market sophistication basically means that there's 5 different levels that every market progresses through, right? And the skepticism of the target audience and the people in the market increases with the time that they spend in the market and the amount of quality of buying experiences, right? So I'm gonna just go through this. A market has like 5 different levels. So for example, if there's a market that's completely untouched, like the market never has been sold like sparkling water before, then it would be completely untouched. And then we have the first brands coming into the market, offer their products, and we have more and more brands coming into it. And then, for example, level 5 would be that there's a crazy sophistication and therefore skepticism of the market just because they've been in the market for so long and they've bought like, let's say, 20 different water bottles from different brands, like San Pellegrino, Evian, whatever they all are called, right? And they had so many different buying experiences. So with testosterone supplements, the market has been penetrated by dozens of offers and brands. So what I did is I went on the Meta ad library and I just put in testosterone, and you can see these are all of the ads that have been pushed live in like the last week or two. And you can scroll, basically infinitely scroll down this ad library because there's so many people pushing testosterone supplements into the market, and they have been for ages. So there's a highly, highly likable chance that your target audience, if you now sell testosterone supplements to them, is super skeptic. So the market sophistication for this specific offer has reached its maximum. And this concept of market sophistication and market awareness stages is so important because based on that, you need to address the market differently in your marketing, right? If somebody hasn't seen your offer before, then you need to communicate your offer differently, right? Than if they have already seen hundreds of offers. So that's why this concept is also so important. So the consequence of that, because the market sophistication is progressed to the maximum, is that the unit economics became crappy. Because if there are so many different advertisers on the platform that all bid for the same offer for the same target audiences, you can imagine that it's a pretty shitty situation. So at this market stage, basically the only way of scaling you have is to undercut the price of the market, right? So it's a pricing game, or you scale with high customer acquisition costs. If all of the testosterone supplements, let's say, cost $40, and therefore everyone has their cost caps at $30 because they don't want to spend more on CPAs, and you are able to spend $100 per CPA because you're VC backed or something, or have too much money, then you could scale, right? But obviously, the unit economics become shitty at this point. But since we wanted to scale profitable, even though Greg has a lot of money, we had to have great unit economics, right? We wanted to have front-end profitability. So we brainstormed around a new offer that has a high average order value with great margins and allows us, most importantly, to market it differently, right? Which is why we combined the testosterone booster, the Kino Mojo, with the pre-workout, the Kino Nitro, and then added a digital product to the bundle. So now we have these three products together in one bundle and in one offer. And the offer that we pushed was a 30-day challenge with 2 supplements and a diet and training guide. We called this the 30-day Mojo Mastery Challenge. We like to call it Mojo just because Kinobody basically coined the term Mojo, right? So us combining and bundling up these different products and adding the digital product to it led to a $97 AOV instead of a $40 AOV, and then a $69 subscription. Because what we did is we built this offer. We also built a school community. We funnel all of the people in the school community. They buy the $100 AOV offer with the challenge. Then they're in the school community, and then they get the products once a month for $69, right? Pretty simple, you should think. So as I said, we added community in the backend for high retention. So we had a high gross margin on the first order, and then also a high customer lifetime value. So as I said in the beginning, the result was with that offer, we could cut down newcomer customer acquisition cost by 66%. We were even able to decrease the ad spend by 40%, scaled on a 9.3x ROAS, again, increased monthly profits by over $200,000. So what I want to do now in the next chapter is break down the creative and advertising structure. Before I get started with that, Alex, do you want to touch open anything, or should I just continue and then we...
Yeah, moment. Let's continue. Yep.
Yeah, okay, sweet. I'm really in flow now. I got everything going now. I could just talk for hours. So, chapter 2, breakthrough advertising. For this, I like to follow a 5-step framework that I'm going to share with you now.
Pellegrino.
So, basically, first of all, what we do, we want to test different angles. Then we want to double down on the best performing angle. Then we want to do multiple iterations of the best performing ad. Then craft a VSL and a congruent landing page. Pretty simple. I like to build these presentations and my videos with frameworks so that you can follow it, right? I like everything I do. If you go on my YouTube or Twitter, I try to do as much as possible in frameworks because then it's easiest for you to just do it with your own stuff. So that's why 5-step framework. So step number 1, angle testing. You want to craft multiple angles for your offer that you have and then test for resonance. So let's say we look at the offer, right? Whatever that offer is, you will always have multiple angles to sell the same offer, right? So in this case, the first angle we had for the Mojo Mastery Challenge was testosterone, right? Improve your testosterone, you have low testosterone, yada, 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 right? Angle 2 was dating. So Mojo Mastery Challenge, become a better guy, become lean, healthy, find a girlfriend, right? And then angle 3 was fitness. So become fitter in the gym, crush your competition, get a 6-pack and all of that, right? And then we basically wrote out scripts for these different angles following this creative framework. So I'm gonna just open it up so you can see the whole script. Again, I'm now going to give you the basic framework of the script. At the end of the presentation, I'm going to share like 10 exact scripts with you. I have a whole Google Drive where we have 10 creatives in video format and 10 scripts completely written out, but it doesn't fit in this presentation. So this is the basic concept that we've always followed for the ads. We started with a hook, then go into their pain, transition in terms of we pitch them, then we explain the mechanism, we go into their desire, we add some proof, and then we have a call to action. So the basic script is, hey, Alex, do you want to achieve this? And then we put in their desired situation. And then I say, listen up, there's a problem, what you've been doing wrong in the past. But good for you today, there's a better way, which is this product, the new mechanism. And this mechanism helps you achieve your desired situation. It already helped these other people. So click here now for the solution. It's super, super simple, but this is the basic framework that it comes down to write a good ad, right? And you could put anything into this. I could even put services into this, right? Like whatever product you have, you could put it into this creative framework. And that's why I'm such a big fan of framework. I could even say, I don't know, Alex, do you want to have a nicer haircut? Then the problem is you've been going to the wrong barber, but there's a better way, which is cutting your hair at home. And it helps you achieve your perfect haircut without having to go to a barber, pay so much money, etc., etc. It already helped hundreds of other successful entrepreneurs save time, save money, have a nice haircut every day. So click here now for our new haircut device, right? Like you could put anything into this framework and it works. So with Kinobody, we quickly found a winning angle, which was the angle dating, right? But like initially, for example, if you look at the Mojo Mastery Challenge with like fitness products, and you would just go, oh, let's do a fitness angle, then you maybe wouldn't have found like such a good winner, which in this case was dating, right? Like a completely random angle that we chose. So I'm gonna now show you the creative that performed really well.
Here are three easy steps. Now, step one, you want to stop chasing her. Now, most men just give women way too much attention where they don't value your attention anymore. Or guys get frustrated and start acting like dicks. The key is you want to actually be very nice and chill, but you want to reduce your attention so she's always chasing more of it. Secondly, you want to focus on your money and your body. Get hyper-focused on getting in shape, hyper-focused on accelerating in your career and learning skills. This is what is most important. Women are naturally attracted to the highest quality mate. If you're always improving yourself, women are going to be looking at you as the best possible option. Now, third, there's actually an unfair advantage that some men have over 95% of the other men. Now, I put together a 10-minute video showing you exactly what this unfair advantage is and how you can get it quickly. So watch the video and I'll show you how to get a massive advantage over the competition.
So this is everything executed by
So,
Greg.
so this is an ad
Yeah, this is one of the ads we run.
for supplement or for coaching?
For the offer that I just went through. For
Oh,
the
really?
Mojo Mastery
Wow.
Challenge. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is like everything that I'm going to show now is for this Mojo Mastery for Kinobody.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet. So now we saw that this was performing really well. So now next step, we want to double down on that, right? We want to get a good understanding of why did it perform so well. So you dive deep into your target audience, understanding for the best performer. So you want to do research, right? You want to research their pain points. You want to research their objections, and you want to research their excuses of why they haven't been able to achieve their desired state before. So, for example, you want to deep dive into forums. One of the things we did, because the dating angle worked best of, do you want to make her chase you? We went onto Reddit and we found a nice subreddit called Dating Advice. And then we read through hundreds of different blogs and comments from young males where they wrote, I cannot get a girl. I have these problems getting a girl. Like, I always chase girls, but they never reply. Or I'm not confident enough. Or I don't know how to talk to girls, right? Like they would they would write everything that they think and feel into Reddit. It's crazy. Like the stuff you can find in Reddit, it's a gold mine, right? So I like to go on Reddit. I like to go YouTube comments. I like to go to magazines. I like to go through Facebook comments. Basically everywhere where your target audience is spending time and talks about how they feel and think. So one of the pain points we found in Reddit, like this is literally one of the things we found in Reddit from like 101 the copy. I feel like I'm in some sort of matrix where things are just meant to happen for others when I'm not around. This is what one guy wrote on Reddit, right? Another pain point was some dudes just seem to slide from one relationship to the next with ease, where others are forever alone. And then basically what we did is we looked at different pain points. So these are just two examples of like dozens we found. So then we looked at the objections. So this is what they basically said why they cannot get a girl. So they said, I don't have enough money. All of the guys that get the girls are rich, right? Or have a big house or nice car. Or they say objections around like, I don't look good. I'm not tall enough. I don't have a six pack, right? They make up all of these crazy excuses. Or then they say, they don't have game. They don't know how to talk to girls. They don't know how to slide into the DMs, right? And again, this is all of the stuff that we found on Reddit. And then excuses. They say, social media is so bad. TikTok is so bad. It destroys women nowadays. Or they say, it's the woman's fault. It's not my fault that I cannot get a girl. It's the fault of every single woman out there. Or they say genetics, right? Like my parents gave me bad genetics, which is why I don't have a girlfriend today. And basically, we go through all of this, right? So we literally read hundreds of these blogs and comments and wrote down their pain points, their objections, and their excuses. And then what we did is we combined that with the one ad that we had that performed really well and did different iterations. So you want to craft multiple variations of the best performer based on the research you do. So for example, for this first pain point where they said, I feel like I'm in some sort of matrix, we wrote the hook, why is it so hard to get a girlfriend, right? So we take the pain point and for that exact pain point, we write a hook. And you can see the ad creative.
It's so unbearably hard to get dates and quality girlfriends nowadays. Over the past few years, it's become really tough out there. Most young men struggle so hard to get dates, it's frightening. And it's not just guys you think wouldn't be good with girls. Even intelligent, decent-looking guys with cool social circles are still struggling. Guys you'd see and think they're doing it right, but even they have an incredibly hard time getting a beautiful girl even remotely interested in them. But on the other hand, there's still always that group of guys that seem to hop from one girl to the next effortlessly. It's almost like opportunities to meet girls are just being thrown at them.
So we basically took all of the shit that we found in the research and put it into a nice ad with a nice story, right? And then we play out this ad, and then the young 16-year-old watches the ad, and they are like, holy fuck, he says literally exactly how I feel. Another example is this one, right? Some dudes just seem to slide from one relationship to the next with ease. A hook that you can write then is the harsh reality of why most women won't date 95% of you guys. And then the ad could look like this.
Why you don't date 95% of guys? Look, you can do everything right on the surface. You can be intelligent, have decent looks, have a great social circle, but still, beautiful women would rather opt for the guy who's going to 100% hurt them in the end, even if he's not even better looking than you. But what does this guy have that you are lacking?
So we just, again, play on the pain points, we play on the objections and the excuses that we found, right? So we went through all of the iterations, basically doubling down on your winner. The next step is to write a sick VSL. So based on the research, based on the best performing angle, with congruency to your creatives, you craft a VSL. So here's the framework. Again, I have the whole VSL scripted out in the Google Drive. I'm going to give that to you at the end of the presentation. Just want to give you the basic framework. With the VSL, we start with a big promise. We then go on to show a lot of proof that we can actually achieve that promise with the offer that we're going to pitch at the end. We then have the whole hero story of the guy who's selling it, right? Then we have a current situation call out where we say, hey, listen up. I know where you're at, but there's still hope. Then we throw shade at other solutions. We tell them why all of this stuff doesn't work. We then explain them exactly how our offer works, and then we pitch them. This is the basic concept and basic framework of how to do VSLs. Again, I will give you the whole script at the end of the presentation. So to give you, in a shortened version, to give you a taste of what a VSL could look like. Big promise is something like revealed, the unfair advantage that allows some guys to almost magically attract girls, effortlessly slide from one girl to the next and get chased, loved, and adored by 10 out of 10 women. This would be a big promise, right? Like there's a certain unfair advantage. Then the big proof. My name is Greg Gallagher. You might know me from XYZ, talking about how I cracked the code of my life. Over the past years, I spent most of my days dating models, driving supercars, traveling the world, and just living a sick life. Then we have the hero story, where he says, hey, it wasn't always like this. This is why I need to tell you the story. I couldn't always get girls that easily, so let me explain to you how I found out about this. Then we have the epiphany, which is basically, hey, listen, I wasn't like this always, but then I had a crazy moment where I realized how to do it. And I'm going to share it with you now. Then we have the current situation call out of your target audience where we say, hey, you are in this situation. It's really bad for you. We basically double down on the pain. We then go to hope, right? So we give them hope. It's not all lost. You are in a really bad situation, but there's something that you can do to get out of this bad situation. And we then say, hey, the one thing that you can do to get out of this bad situation is this product or this offer. And then we pitch them, right? Again, I was just going through this a bit. I will just give you the whole framework with everything written out at the end, but I just wanted to give you like a good understanding of how VSLs work. So let me show you the VSL.
The unfair advantage allows some guys to almost magically attract women, effortlessly slide from one girl to the next, and get chased, loved, and adored by 10 out of 10 women. While you may struggle to get a text back, quality matched on Tinder, let alone serious dates or a girlfriend, let's cut the shit. You've seen it before. The guys who just seem to almost magically attract women, or effortlessly sliding from one girl to the next, or getting chased.
Basically just a 10-minute video of everything that I went through right from the script, but this is the VSL. And then the last step is to have a nice landing page. Basically what we do is we write down everything that we have in the ads. We just take the stuff from the scripts, put it into a nice landing page. With the landing page, again, you can see we just take exactly the same big promise. We take the exact pain points. We include the VSL. We have a call to action and some trust factors. This is the hero section of the landing page, right? Super, super straightforward. We then have a section with the value proposition where we break down exactly what's included in the module mastery challenge, what's included in the classroom, what's included in the community and all of that stuff to explain the value proposition. So basically the value that they're getting out of the offer. We then have a lot of customer success stories, right? A lot of before and afters, a lot of testimonials, everything to build trust. We then have the offer breakdown to explain to them what's included in the offer and again tie this to their main goal. We then have the offer section with the call to action where we sell them the product. We then have again testimonials to create more trust. We then have a money back guarantee to create more trust. We then have a FAQ section to take the last objections, and that's it, right? So these are basically the sections you need if you craft the landing page, right? It's pretty straightforward, pretty simple. You can just follow these 8 sections. You need to have a great headline that calls out the desired situation, talks about the problems with a sick VSL. You need to explain the exact value proposition of the offer, have customer success stories, break down the offer, make it available to buy, obviously, have testimonials, have a guarantee, and then end up with FAQs. So we are almost at the end. I'm going to just go through the last parts and then we can ask questions. Chapter 3, and most importantly, how can you implement this yourself if you're watching this right now? Your key takeaway has to be quantum leap advantage wasn't achieved through a technical advantage. It was gained through utilizing the power of breakthrough advertising and cutting-edge marketing. So after the first validated experiment, we only had to pour more oil into the fire. And I will now give you all of the framework scripts, landing page blueprint for free. Important disclaimer, your success does not come from blind copying these. Your success comes from taking all of what you just learned, individualizing these frameworks to your offer. So you can either take out your phone or you can go to the landing page, and this will take you straight to the Google Drive folder. I can also open it up in a second and show it to you. Basically, has all of the videos, all of the creative scripts, the VSL scripts, the landing pages, and everything you need. Again, thank you so much. If you want, feel free to check out my Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. I push out tons and tons of value out there, a lot of frameworks, and I'm super happy to go into questions now.
Awesome. I'll ask some questions from my side, and then guys, just raise your hand or drop the question in the chat, and Carl will help to cover. Thank you so much for sharing this. It's very valuable to see this whole process, like from the initial like foundations, from the initial principles, because again, like that's mostly from my perspective what people are missing. Like they go into tactics without like first like understanding why certain things are working, what certain things are not. And so thank you so much for sharing that. I wanted to ask some questions from my side. So let's say, you see a lot of businesses, right? You obviously work with these, big businesses, successful businesses that have done very well for themselves. At the same time, like maybe you have seen, other businesses that haven't done so well, right? And you kind of like maybe over time you start observing the trends why those businesses are not doing that well. So what would you say are the biggest reasons why people are not cracking, let's say, conversion rate optimization, not able to scale from your experience?
It's a really, really good question. I have heard a lot of different people say different things about this. I've always been a big believer in success in entrepreneurship comes from you believing in yourself and doing the work over a long enough period of time and actually putting down goals and then work towards those goals. I was always a big believer of that. All of the big people that I followed told me that. And then the most interesting thing is that I actually wrote my bachelor thesis around the psychology of successful entrepreneurs, right? Because I did my bachelor in business administration with a focus on e-commerce and psychology. And then for my bachelor thesis, I was like, yes, it's a long process. It will take like couple of months. I want to write it around something interesting, right? So I was like, okay, what interests me? I'm really interested in psychology and entrepreneurship. And then I was like, okay, let me validate what I think. Let me validate what I heard from all of these big people. So I basically researched around the psychology factors of successful entrepreneurs, right? And what I found is that through dozens of studies where they researched how your age, how your gender, how your background, how your educational background, how your nationality affects business success, right? From like entrepreneurs. And they researched this based on business longevity, business growth, and business revenue. And what they found was across all of those studies that the biggest factor for entrepreneurial success is self-efficacy. And self-efficacy has a direct and an indirect positive effect on business success. Self-efficacy is basically this concept of if you say something that you're going to do it or achieve it, you have 100% certainty and belief in you achieving that. So it's basically a mindset / skill that if I say I'm going to make $10 million next year, I have 100% certainty and self-belief in doing that. And this factor is by far the biggest factor on entrepreneurial success based on the research, right? So again, this is not some tactic or strategy, but this is the biggest factor for entrepreneurial success. And I've seen this over and over again in my journey and the journeys of the people I follow, that they are always super certain in their ability to achieve what they say. So this is the most foundational thing, right? If I talk about specifically e-commerce, it's that a lot of people try to cut corners. So they try to get the easy way. They try to get rich quick. They try to take something that they see somewhere and just duplicate it, right? This is why I try to focus as much as possible on frameworks and on stuff that people can individualize, because your success doesn't come from copy and pasting somebody else. It's like you have to understand the stuff that 1% of the whole marketers like understand, right? It's just to give some other examples of stuff that I studied to become better at marketing. It's like I wanted to become better at marketing, content, personal brand, and some of the stuff I studied was propaganda, right? Like how do big states, how do governments do propaganda? How are they able to manipulate the masses? Because at the end of the day, that's also marketing, right? It doesn't have to do anything with marketing in that sense. Or it's not that they're going to give you a concept of how to do marketing, but if you're able to reverse engineer like the success of people in a different field and apply it to yours, then this is the best way for you to become successful.
So it comes, I mean, it, you know, from what you just mentioned, it resonates so much with me. It's pretty much an obsession, right? It's an obsession on understanding how things work, right? And understanding the principles by which things work, not just taking like what you see on surface and blindly copying and expecting it to work. So because if it can work short term, you might, you know, copy, as you said, product, you know, from someone. You can copy the landing page, you can transcribe the VSL and whatever, like remake it. You know, there's many ways that you can copy, like with all of the spy tools that are available to people. You can copy the landing page. It's not a secret. You can go in an ad library, like go to landing pages, copy it, rip it, replicate it. But you will not be able to achieve, you know, massive levels of sustainable success if you just do that, because you don't follow the principles, right? And, you know, what you just mentioned, like in part of your process, right, which is, you know, we help people like with VSLs, inside of VSS, like VSLs, advertorials, all that stuff. Big, massive part of that is the research. You know, what you mentioned with subreddits, Reddits, you know, going to Amazon, like seeing reviews, like listening to your customers, so the feedback you get, even watching the comments that you get on ads. Like for us, like and that's like, I think, easy to implement for everyone in the call. So we have frequently asked questions on our product pages. And I mean, some of our product pages have like 30 questions there, like outlined, you know, because we get a comment on Facebook, and let's see if we get that comment more than twice, like specific question, we are incorporating into like frequently asked questions. That has worked very well for us, because we're literally handling objections before they even occur, or sometimes we're incorporating those objections into the value proposition or bullet points and stuff like that if it becomes like a common trend. But it's comes down, as you said, Carl, it comes down to understanding the principles and understanding like deeper psychology, why people buy and don't buy. Because like if, let's say you get 100 people landing on your website, and then let's say you have 3-5% of them buying, you know, typical conversion rate, then what's a reason like those 95% didn't buy, right? What if you did some extra learnings and extra investigation to see how you can get extra, you know, 1 or 2% to buy? Because they might have bought if you answered, if you talk to them in a particular way, or if you answer specific objection that they had, if you handle those objections before they have them. Another thing that could be valuable, I think, is, you know, I like to go into our customer support emails and just randomly go through those, like, and see what questions people are asking. Oh, is it like, does it work for all, you know, body types, you know, hair types? Like one of our brands in hair niche, and you know, people asking those questions. I'm like, fuck, why we didn't incorporate that? Like, why we didn't make it super clear that it's all for all hair types? It's kind of obvious, right? That it's for all hair types for us, but it's like, you know, we're not our customer, and so
Yeah.
All right, yeah, guys, let's wrap it up. And if you have any questions for Carl, please drop it in a WhatsApp chat. Carl is here. Thank you so much, Carl, for making the time for this. And yeah, we'll have all of the resources, all of the slideshows as well, so you guys can go through this. It might take more than one time. Just go through this process several times. Go through the slides several times. It takes time to sink in, but once you get it, it will be life-changing. So, Carl, thank you so much for joining us, guys. Thank you so much for jumping on the call. And yeah, we'll see you next time. We'll drop all the resources in the group.
Thank you so much, guys.
Yep.
Have a great
Thank
day,
you, guys.
and see you soon.
Bye-bye.